Okay. Hello guys, RMP792 here. Right, I'm entitling this vlog What the Hell is Happening to the Channel for the simple reason that, well, what the hell is happening to the channel? I'm going to start with explaining exactly what has happened, and then I'm going to talk about what I plan to do about it. In case you're wondering why the glasses, that's just I haven't bothered putting contact lenses in today. So, on August the 22nd at 19:29, this is all UK time, I received an email from YouTube which said thus: "Hi RMP792. The YouTube community flagged one or more of your videos as inappropriate. After reviewing the content, we have determined that the video violates our community guidelines. As a result, we've removed the following videos from YouTube. Let's Play Sunrider Academy Part 20. Your account has received one community guidelines strike which will expire in 6 months. Additional violations could prevent you from posting content to YouTube or even lead to your account getting terminated. For more information about community guidelines strikes, please visit our help center, and please note that deleting this video will not resolve the strike on your account. For more information on how to appeal the strike, please visit this page in the help center. Yours, the YouTube team." For anyone who doesn't know, YouTube has two separate strike systems. The first, and the most well known, is the copyright system. The reason this is most well known is simply that this is the one that gets abused the most. It's quite often used by unscrupulous developers who basically want to censor criticism, and they do that by issuing a copyright strike. The second system is the community guidelines system, which is a lot less well known because it gets used a lot less. However, its principles are exactly the same. It's a 3-strike system. If you receive the first strike, your account goes into bad standing. This means a number of things. So, for one thing, I can no longer post videos that are any longer than 15 minutes. This is, as you might gather, somewhat annoying, given that a lot of my reviews run longer than that, and my standard run length for Let's Plays is about half an hour. As a result, I had to manually separate out this week's Let's Play, the Sakura Beach Let's Play. Hence why the end of Part 1 is a bit abrupt, and the end of Part 3 is a bit abrupt, and so on and so forth, because I had to manually chop them in half. This is rather annoying, but not too difficult. For anyone who doesn't know, the exact reason I got this strike is because YouTube can be really, really pissy about any form of sexual content on their website. Their community guidelines are actually incredibly unhelpful because they are very, very vague. For example, they state that they are not permitting any form of sexual content on YouTube. However, they may allow it in the form of education. So, for example, you're not supposed to talk about boobs unless you're bringing up a subject such as breast cancer. Oh boy. Now, I will be honest, this system to me feels very, very archaic, given that let's face it, that is a very long Let's Play, which does have some fairly graphic sexual content, yes. And by a purely technical reading of their rules, I am probably in the wrong. So let's face it, guys, there isn't actually a damn thing I can do about this. Now, as it says, that community guideline strike will expire in 6 months, which does mean that for the next 6 months, A, I'm going to have to be very, very careful, because a second strike will mean that I will be unable to post anything for 2 weeks. And second of all, a third strike would lead to a complete deletion of my account. As such, I've had to remove several other videos from the Sunrider Academy Let's Play series, i.e. all the ones that I flagged as adult only. Apparently, YouTube does not feel that flagging a video as adult only is sufficient in this context. Personally, I don't see what the hell the point of the adult only rating is in that is the case, but they're rules and I'm stuck obeying them no matter how draconian they are. So, as a result, the rest of the Let's Play for Sunrider Academy is still up. However, parts 18, 20, 22, and I think 23 are no longer available. I really, really hate having to do this, guys, but I don't have a choice. It's that or not. It's that or run a serious risk of having the entire channel taken away from me. As I say, technically I could appeal, but let's face it, I would lose that appeal, because unlike with copyright strikes, which are just automatic as soon as somebody issues them, community strikes actually get vetted by YouTube. The way you issue a community strike is that you go on a video, you click one of the additional buttons, and it brings up an option that says report as inappropriate. And if you do that, it basically sends a little thing off to YouTube, and one of their, army of staff will basically watch the video, decide whether it's appropriate or not, and then either just flag the reporters to be ignored, or they will yank it off YouTube, which is what they've done. I can't even re-upload the video somewhere else for you to see it for several reasons, namely, I don't have it anymore. I don't have the hard drive space to hang on to Let's Plays. So I regularly go through a clean-out process where I delete a lot of the old series from my hard drive. I've still got every episode of Let's Review, but I don't have the Let's Plays that go with them, so unfortunately there's nothing I can do there. As for the future of the channel, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'll have to reduce the length of each Let's Play part to 15 minutes, but it's annoying, but what can you do? Heck, some people might even prefer it, because I have been informed by some people that half an hour is a bit long for a Let's Play part, but whatever, that's just the way I chose to do it. The big problem is that it means I'm going to have to be very, very careful about video games that include sexual content. Now, I don't want to have to do this, because I prefer to present a game in its absolute entirety. But I can't, and that is because, well, let's face it, YouTube is a very big company. They're treading on eggshells a lot of the time with a lot of American laws, because, well, let's face it, American lawmakers are very, very backwards. That's not just America, by the way. Lawmakers across the world are very, very backwards, because they all tend to be men who are in their 50s and upwards, as a general rule of thumb, and as such they don't really understand how a lot of modern stuff works. This is just the way the world is. So, with regards to sexual content in the future, I'm not going to stop playing games that potentially include sexual content. However, I am going to have to cut it out of the Let's Plays. I really, really hate having to do that, because, as I say, I want to present these games as the developers intended them to be seen, but I can't. So, in future, if we use Sunrider Academy as an example, when we get to one of the sexual scenes, I would basically just have to cut that out of the Let's Play completely, and I would include a little title card that would basically say, here there is a sexual scene. I'd give a very brief description of it, and then I would probably I'd add in an apology for having to cut it out, because I shouldn't have to, but I do. So that's basically all I have to say. There won't be a Let's Play in a couple of weeks. I might as well get this out here, because I'm off next week. So I won't be recording any Let's Play next week, and as you know, I record them a week in advance. But I will try and, at the very least, get a review for the game that I'm going to Let's Play this week done. And this week, I think I need something cathartic, so I'm going to play something that's really quite violent, but really quite enjoyable. It's something I've played before, but it's something that it's fun to play, and frankly, I need to be doing something violent at the moment, because yeah, I'm pissed off. I am pissed off at YouTube, but there isn't a damn thing I can do about it. So, with all that said and done, thank you very much for your support. It does mean the absolute world to me, and I hope that you will continue to tolerate the channel in this nerfed state. There's nothing at all I can do about it, unfortunately, but with your support I can at least keep going in a nerfed fashion. It's not brilliant, but it's what I've got. In the event that an episode of Let's Review runs to longer than 15 minutes, which, let's face it, does happen quite a lot, I will just split it into 2 parts. In fact, I'll probably split it right after the gameplay section, and just do the first part of each episode will be the introduction and the gameplay, and then the second part will be the story analysis and everything else that goes with it, for the simple reason that the gameplay section and the story section are the 2 sections that tend to be the long bits, because the gameplay tends to have chunks of raw gameplay in it, and the story section has all the back and forth between, you know, me and the character of Martin. So, with all that said, thank you very much for your support. If you want to support my channel, which I would really appreciate, you know, please do consider checking out my Patreon. That's patreon.com/rmp792. I apologise for constantly having to flog, you know, the idea, but guys, I need your money, basically. I will be honest about that. You know, have a couple of supporters already, one of whom has actually pledged to the level that specifies they get to demand what game I play, and they have actually made their formal request already. So I've started looking into getting a copy of what they've requested, which is actually sufficiently old that it's, you know, it's going to take me a little while to get my hands on it, but thankfully they've agreed to be patient with me. Though that person who, because I did agree to give them shoutouts, their username is Lee Maths. The thing they have requested does apparently contain some sexual content, so I'll have to warn you now that I'll have to work around that. As far as I'm concerned, though, I'm going to use my old rules for what's acceptable on the channel and what isn't. So if it's all implied, and the only nudity you get is above the waist, I'm leaving it in. Anything that goes below the waist, I'm going to have to trim out. I hate doing it, but them's the breaks. So, thank you very much for watching this vlog, and thank you for your continued support.